Hello rising stars and welcome back to tarot.by.thea. I'm going to do a mini reading today from Venus and Jupiter. Since we have the conjunction today, they strongly call to me, and so I thought I would do a mini reading to see what message they want to bring through. I know I haven't done a reading for a while. The short break that I was planning to take over the summer turned into a 12th house divine pause during Leo season. Now the Lionsgate has passed and the full moon, I'm starting to feel like I'm slowly coming back to myself, but I suspect it will be a slow return. But I want to go into the full story about a lot of shifts that are going on with my tarot, but I'm going to save it for my next Crossroads Journal update. So if you're following me on my Sunstone Studio Instagram account, you'll get access to that. And until then, I think I just want to dive straight into the reading and see what it is that Venus and Jupiter want to say. So one of the things that I will say about the shifts that are going on, I'm shifting how I do my readings, and I'm focusing more on channeling the planets and the other sort of astrological bodies and seeing what messages they want to bring through in a more timeless way, a little bit like shamanic astrology. So I have the main planets and bodies that I work with here on this this printout, and then I will use the crystals to focus the energy on which one I want to connect to, or in this case two, because we have a conjunction. And yeah, and then just see what wants to come through. So I definitely got a strong call this morning. And before we start, I just want to do a small offering to Venus and Jupiter. So Venus, so Jupiter, you asked me to come and be here today and bring forth a message. So I have an offering for you in gratitude and respect for all that you do for me and the collective. And thank you for this message that is about to come through. So what is it that you would like to tell us today? So I'm going to pull a 3-card spread, unless I need some clarifiers. Let's see, the first card, we have the Ace of Coins reversed. So there we go. Or the Ace of Pentacles. I'm getting a sense that this is going to speak to issues around lack, but let's just see what else wants to come through. So we have the Princess of Staves. So this is the Page of Wands in the traditional tarot. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, it came out. Now we have the Two of Staves. So while I was shuffling that last card, I was feeling that with the Ace of Coins in reverse and the Princess of Staves, that there was something about opportunities coming in and being willing to take a risk. Like the being open to opportunities and taking a risk is what could actually bridge the gap between you and the abundance that you want. Because here in this card, you can't. It's more like an orb in his hand, but in traditional tarot, he would be holding the world. So it's like almost like the world at your fingertips. So what direct messages do you have considering these 3 cards? So I'm getting portals of opportunities are opening up. And visualization is really important. So we do have 2 cards of wands here. And so this is spiritual energy, this is fire energy. Because the 2 states can be about planning as well. It can be about, so you could see it almost like visualizing what it is that you want to actually create and manifest, putting a plan together, a strategy together. And then this card with the Princess of Staves can be about going on an adventure. I feel like there is like this, with Jupiter, the Jupiter energy I feel really coming through here with the Princess of Staves. It's almost like there is a journey that's about to unfold that can open doors or will open doors, but you have to be willing to walk through them, because you could actually, if you're not open, you could just not see them at all. And this is an opportunity I'm getting. This is an opportunity to turn this around so it's upright. So you're actually receiving the abundance that you deserve. And this is not just going to unfold over today. It's like we're planting seeds today for future abundance and future prosperity. And even like it could be new love, or a new home, or new material possessions. Could even be improved health with the body. But whatever it is that you want to bring through, it's like today is a day for planting seeds in the energy. And I feel like we're being asked to be adventurous with that in terms of what it is that we dare to dream. So that dream bigger is what I'm getting, particularly with Jupiter, which is all about expansion. Don't limit yourself to the box of what you think is possible right now, because the bigger you dream, even if you fall short, it's still going to be pretty amazing leap forward. Or it could come in a different form that you weren't expecting, or it could even exceed your expectations. But the further you're willing to reach sort of consciously in your intentional work, the more room you give for the universe to surprise you, and make it even better. It's almost like how limiting if you're very limited in what you're willing to dream for yourself, it's almost like the universe won't expand too much beyond that. But the more wild and open you're able to dream, the more open the universe can gift to you experiences. So it's almost like going to match how expansive your thinking is in terms of what it is you want for yourself, and what you dare to want for yourself, what you believe you deserve as well. So this is definitely a day to work through maybe limiting self-beliefs of what, and also what you think is possible, and also a day to actually, dream big and actually dare to say, what is it that I want in an ideal world? If I could wave a magic wand, what would it be? Because sometimes we get so limited by the options we see before us, or what we think we can create with the resources that we have, that we don't even give ourselves permission and time to think beyond that. So today's a day for stretching like the mind and the heart, maybe even as well, so that you can actually think and feel beyond what your everyday life is at the moment. So you can actually let in a lot more timelines and opportunities to you, and connections as well, I'm getting. So I am getting beyond the cards that journaling this down would be really useful, or some recording it in some way, particularly because it might be useful to refer back to it, is what I'm getting, like in 6 months or a year or something, and actually comparing what's happened to what you set in motion today. So I'm hearing something about the spiritual path. Okay, so I'm hearing there's a calling. Okay, so I've heard you're being prepared. You're being prepared for a greater calling. And it has a spiritual root to it. Even if it may not seem like spiritual work, it has a spiritual root to it. It's like part of your spiritual journey. And so it's like you're being prepared to step up into it. And so even if it doesn't make sense, if something just calls to you, like to include in your intentions today or going forward from here, and it doesn't make sense how it fits into the big picture, but for some reason you feel really drawn to do it, even if it doesn't seem to have any practical use or any, way of monetizing it or anything like that. If you feel drawn to do it, it could be there's some alchemy in it, and you could even bed an intention into it. Like, say, for example, I just did some latch hook. While I was taking this break, I needed something to do that would take me away from the computer, and I had this latch hook kit that I had for years, and someone had given me, and so I did this, and it wasn't something that I was doing as something I would sell or something that I would necessarily put out there on social media or anything like that to get some kind of attention or whatever, or anything that would promote my sort of like usual things that I do. But there was something in there. So you can, if you were doing some sewing, or if you were doing some art, or if you were doing some music, or if you were doing even just cleaning your house or something like that, you can bed an intention. So it's like, as my house gets cleaner and cleaner, I receive more clarity on XYZ, for example, or I lift the energy and I attract XYZ into my life. So we can actually make the everyday things, or the things that are just things we're drawn to do that are just for joy or whatever, but we can still embed intention that it can improve our lives. So it's like weaving magic into the mundane kind of thing. So there was that feels really strong coming through. Weaving magic into the mundane. Yeah. And also trusting that can be enough to shift things. And you can just set it and forget it, is what I'm hearing as well. And trust that that's just gonna come through subconsciously, or through the higher dimensions. It's gonna weave in, and it's gonna energetically come back to you when the time is right, in the way that's right for your particular life path. Well, I think Venus is just reminding us that is kind of like behind the whole idea of domestic alchemy, but you can expand it to anything that you do. So as I do this, or as this is completed, then it brings XYZ to me, or I get clarity on this, or whatever it is that you want to bring into your life. Okay, so because I was trying to focus on this card with the Ace of Pentacles upside down. So this is an opportunity to work through our issues around lack, around scarcity, around our ability to receive, and what we feel we deserve to receive, how much we feel we have to do in order to receive. And this could be a time where you can actually really rest into the feminine energy, whether you're a male or female, but the feminine energy of receiving, and actually learning to master this. We can actually call in support, I'm hearing right now, to learn to receive better. I think Venus is actually particularly calling on us to do that and to look at that. And even if you don't know what it is that's blocking you from receiving, you can just ask either for guidance or clarity on being able to get some understanding on that, or just simply ask whatever is within me that can dissolve right now, or no longer serves me, that can be shifted right now. Please shift it so that I can receive. You don't even necessarily have to name everything or analyze everything. Sometimes it's actually easier to leave it to the subconscious or the spirit to do the work. So, well, first of all, what I'm seeing is like the literal planting of seeds with intention. But then I was saying, but it's too late to plant seeds. But then seeds can come up later. So if you're able to actually take some, okay, I got confirmation not. If you actually have some seeds, whether it's like some wild seeds or something you just have lying around, and literally you can just take a seed and put into that seed what it is you wish to improve into your life, and then scatter it. You can either scatter it somewhere, either in a garden, or if you're by a park, you could throw it in the park, or depending on what kind of seed it is, but or even in a pot, in a plant pot or something like that. Or you could literally just press it to the earth yourself. You could even like put your saliva on it, so it's encoded to you, as well as the energy of you holding the seed. So, and I am getting reminded, I know people do guerrilla gardening when they'll throw seeds in certain places and let things bloom, but I only do, depending on what seeds you have and where you're going, if it's not in your own home, only do what feels intentional and aligned. Don't put a squash plant in the middle of a park. I'm sure someone might say something about that. But yeah, where it's appropriate, where it feels cool, either you're called to put a seed somewhere, or feels aligned for certain seeds to go somewhere, like some wildflowers or something like that. The earth will call to you sometimes to move things or place things somewhere. So if you feel that call of like, oh, I could take some wildflower seeds down to the forest, or I could, or something like that, then that's another way that you can plant, because we're working with the earth. Venus is very much the earth here. Now with Jupiter, we're talking, it's associated with Sagittarius, so it's a fire sign. So you could do some fire devotional acts. So you could, like I did, take a piece of, I use dried rose petals, try a bit of rose petal, put your intention into it, work it with fire. But you have to ask fire's permission. You should also ask the earth's permission if you're going to do something that's outside of the land that you're keeping. But those are two other methods that you could do in terms of planting intentions. And what I'm hearing is, depending on what time you see this, that if you see this and you're aligned with that, this is a timeless message. So even if you see this way after the Venus and Jupiter conjunction, this is an energetic wave that is like, it's been going for a while now. It's just coming to a peak now, and it will like trail off. But, these things are put into motion. So in capturing this energy in this video, it's like you can tap into that wave, like on a quantum level. And if it feels aligned to do any of these practices, then you can do them at any point. Okay, so now I'm feeling something in the heart. I just felt a little ache. And also in the throat. So it seems like expressing yourself from the heart is also going to support yourself. So expressing your needs, finding a way to express them, even if you can only express them to yourself or to the earth or to a candle or to your spirit guides if you work with spirit guides. So it feels like expressing yourself from the heart is going to be very important. I think that's also tied into the Princess of Staves card. Daring to actually express what it is that you need to the universe. Daring to be supported by the universe and trusting that what we put out there is heard. And depending on what our soul contracts are, what timelines we're working with, when it's aligned for certain things to fall into place, these fruits will come at different times for different people. But we're being called to express what our heart really, really desires right now. You want to feel that when you vocalize it, or when you write it down, or when you put it in a seed, or whatever practice you use, that when you put that intention or speak that intention into it, that you want to feel satisfied. You want to feel like you've actually expressed what the heart really needed to express, even if it doesn't fully make sense. Even if you could logic away the need, this needs to come from the heart and the soul. So don't be practical, be real. So that feels like, is that the last message? So expand your mind and speak your heart. Yeah, okay. Yeah, expand your mind and speak your heart. Okay. That feels like a good place to close the reading. So I'll probably do more of these readings at some point. There are some changes to how I'm going to do my tarot going forward. But until then, you can keep tabs on me at my website, tarot.by.thea.net. And you can also follow me on YouTube and other places around. And you'll see more stuff from me real soon. But until then, keep shining. Bye.